I was proud when I became mayor to officially name the summer youth program for Marion Barry, but also to extend it to young people up to the age of 24. And Andrew is a perfect shining example about why that's important. So I want to say thank you. It wasn't easy back then. But Andrew is a Ballou grad. As he has said, he is the recipient of a full academic scholarship from UDC. And we know when our young people engage in our programs that put them on the pathway to the middle class, that's exactly what they'll be, on the pathway to the middle class. And I saw you looking at him. I know you are, Antoine, because you do IT and he does IT. Yes, and so we want all of our young people to open themselves up to these vast possibilities. So last week, as you know, we launched our Summer MB SYEP Youth Program. I want to give a huge shout out to Director Morris Hughes and all of the employees of the Department of Employment Services. It is... There are 14,000 young people in MB SYEP in the Summer Youth Program. And just for some context, there are 37,000 people that work for DC government. So we basically are setting up a little less than half of the entire DC government every summer. And that is an incredible undertaking. We are pleased that the young people who raised their hands and said they wanted the experience have the experience. We have over 700 employer sites. And we know, and everybody knows when you go around D.C., that many people have had their first job. And they will tell you that Marion Barry gave them their first job. So let's hear it for the forever mayor, Marion Barry. So Andrew is one of more than 30 SYEPers who are working at the Office of the Chief Technology Officer. I'm pleased that Lindsay Parker has joined us, the Chief Technology Officer. And the young people working at Octo include digital ambassadors who are leading Tech 101 workshops here today. They will spend their summer teaching residents new skills on their phones and on their tablets. And I am just thrilled anytime we can have this intergenerational sharing of information that's good for our seniors who are here from all over DC. So let's hear it for our seasoned residents. And I know that our SYEPers are going to share what they know, because they know how to move those thumbs quick and get around and do a lot of things. And so in addition to all that they will do with our seniors, we know that SYEP has charged the team with thinking through how we can help DC residents get connected to good paying careers in DC. And so we're also here to talk about a very important program that I proposed and got funded with this year's budget. We're officially launching our new Career Coach DC program. We are very fortunate to have numerous resources, training programs, and investments to help DC residents earn credentials and get work experiences. We have, however, heard from a number of residents that they need assistance navigating these programs and connecting with the resources that are out there and available. And it's been my experience that no matter what your background is, where you are in your career, how much money you make, how many degrees you have or don't have, you can use a coach. You can use a coach. And so that's why these young people know you can use a coach. And so that's why we have invested $3.4 million to establish the Career Coach DC program. And it will be led by our Workforce Investment Council. And Anna Smith, the Executive Director, is here. And I want to thank you, Anna, for your leadership. There are board members here, Antoine Ford, members of the WIC. If you're here, let's give them a big round of applause. Our goal with these funds is to support at least 5,000 residents annually over the next 2 years, and coaches have already started providing their services. We are offering in-person services, virtual, and hybrid services based on a resident's preferences. So residents can register for career coaching at one of our service locations or by email or by calling us, and we will provide that information. Career coach at dcworks.dc.gov or calling 202-989-1002. And I am also proud to announce that we are going to connect Andrew with a coach, so that the coach, just like he's used SYP, he is going to try out, if he chooses, coaching services to help him think through all of his next steps. So with that, I'm happy now to turn to Anna Smith to tell you more.
Thank you so much, Mayor Bowser. Thank you, Andrew, for welcoming us all. And I'd love to just start by recognizing the coach that we've already connected Andrew with, Mr. Kevin Ball right here, who's one of our fantastic coaches. We're really excited about this program. I'm really pleased to represent the Workforce Council today. I'd like to, again, recognize our staff, members of our board who are here, board members who are appointed by Mayor Bowser and represent business, labor, nonprofit, and government. They're charged with ensuring employers have access to the skilled workforce they need to grow and thrive their businesses. And we're also charged with making sure residents have what they need to get a high-quality education, workforce training, and meaningful employment throughout their careers. We do this by working with the public and nonprofit sectors. I know we've got some community organizations here today, and working across more than a dozen district government agencies that support workforce and residents throughout their careers. I know we have Director Zeilinger with the Department of Human Services, Director Morris Hughes, whom you'll hear from later, and many more. Our job is to make sure that those services are aligned and connected and work efficiently to make sure that we're furthering the community's goals of racial equity and economic prosperity. We're here today because of Mayor Bowser's commitment to those goals. Commitment to residents like Andrew and his brothers, and the many more who want to pursue their passions and translate those passions into fulfilling careers right here in DC. But we know that sometimes there's a gap between knowing what you love to do and understanding the path and the experiences you need to get there and to take your job to the next step. So Career Coach DC, as Mayor Bowser shared, is connecting DC residents to human-centered design counseling, assessments, training, education, and quality jobs, all based on individuals' needs and preferences. Working with our local partner, KRA Corporation, whom I'd also like to recognize, there's some representatives here today, as well as the John and Mary R. Markle Foundation. I know we've got their representatives as well, whom we're partnering with through the Rework America Alliance initiative. Our dozens of career coaches will benefit from KRA's deep history and experience serving DC residents, as well as national best practices. Our residents deserve only the best. As Mayor Bowser shared, Career Coach DC is offered to residents 18 years and older who've not yet completed a bachelor's degree, or those who are low or moderate income. KRA, working in partnership with the WIC, community organizations, and other government agencies, will offer those services for the next 2 years. So I encourage you, eligible residents in the audience, summer youth employment individuals who are old enough, please. We've got some coaches here on site. We're excited to have you meet them. We have some flyers with information about how to connect with that phone number, with the email address, and I encourage you to take charge and take action today. Reach out to us and let us know how we can support you in your career journey. And now I'd love to welcome up Chief Technology Officer and Assistant City Administrator Parker to speak about the great work she and her team are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you, Mayor Bowser. I'm so proud to be here today to talk about some of our tech-focused SYEP programs underway this summer already. And Andrew, I'm so proud of you, of your time and your journey at Octo. Your managers have been thoroughly impressed, and some of them are here today. The team really wanted to come and just give you a hug. Thanks for all that you've done. Your eagerness to learn new technologies, to help your community, and to grow professionally in just 4 years. I wish you luck with your career coach. I sincerely do. But I assume that they're going to give you the best advice, which is to get a job in government tech and come back to Octo. Okay. I'm glad we got that taken care of. So the tech team here in DC government works to unleash the possible in DC in the digital age. And that includes being super focused on creating a pipeline of talent. Sparking an interest in tech among our youngest residents here in DC, putting them on the path to well-paying jobs in growing fields in technology, and more selfishly in government technology. Each year, we invite SYEP participants to learn and put to practical use tech skills that range from cybersecurity to IT support. And this year is no different. We have several in-office interns learning about device support, application testing, and networking. Several are here today, too. There's a lot of people here. It's really exciting. New to Octo's SYEP lineup this year is our esports program. You can't miss them. We have 15 Eastern High School Ramblers working with coaches Lee James and Paul Howard in the back. Other kinds of coaches. Yeah. But Mayor, don't worry. They're not just playing video games this summer, right, guys? Yeah. This team is learning to build computers. They're learning how to figure out networking, and we just talked about wiring and how important it is, and completing coding programs online. So this is why esports athletes go on to become software developers, graphic designers, IT professionals, and more. Again, I'm really selfishly hoping a lot of them come back to Octo. Let's just say that. So, and again, esports are sports without a ball, without a bat, but along with those valuable tech education, they're also learning teamwork, leadership, adaptability, strategic thinking, all super valuable skills needed for the careers they're eventually going to pursue and really for life. And as we've seen, especially over the past 2 years, technology really touches everything. We see more and more jobs that require technical chops. And we want to make sure we're providing the skills and opportunities here in DC to succeed in this new landscape. There's no better place to do this, in my opinion, than at DC government, where we're focused on building those pathways to the future. But don't get me wrong, we're also focused on today. Right behind us, we've got seasoned seniors engaging with our SYEP high school seniors. That cross-intergenerational work, Mayor, and actually they're not doing it yet, but they're about to do it after this. But we want to make sure that all DC residents have the skills to participate, work, and engage in the digital age today. Our goal with these Tech 101 workshops is to show residents how to use a device, a smartphone, a computer, in daily life, accessing a service online, a government service, for instance, using a GPS tool, saving your sister's phone number so you don't forget to call her. Right? These 101 sessions are going to take place at select DC public libraries. Any excuse to come to MLK, I'm there. Every Tuesday and Thursday through August 6th. We all have a grandma, an uncle, a neighbor that could that could use help with their smart device. So if you or someone you know can benefit from these free sessions, bear with me. You can text Tech 101 to Tech 101 to 69866, or visit techtogether.dc.gov today. And I really want to applaud one of our Tech Together DC partners who's here with us today, the DC Department of Aging and Community Living. Director Jessica Smith is here today. Several residents here. Several residents here today for the workshop received their new devices through the DACL Wild Tech Senior iPad program, with a goal to provide 1,500 DC seniors participating in DACL programs free iPads, internet access, training, and ongoing technical support. So thank you so much. That's a big deal. Also available at techtogether.dc.gov and here today is information about how you or your neighbors can access quality, high-speed internet through President Biden's Affordable Connectivity Program, or otherwise known as ACP, because we know that it's, in order to truly engage online, we need quick and affordable access to the internet all over the city. So again, that's techtogether.dc.gov, where you can go to learn more. And now, I'm excited to hand it off to the woman who makes SYEP happen summer after summer, Department of Employment Services Director, Dr. Unique Morris-Hughes.
Thank you, ACA Parker. Thank you, our Director of the Workforce Investment Council, Anna Smith, and thank you, Mayor Bowser, for your continued support for the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program. This is our 42nd year of the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program, right? Clap for that, y'all. Y'all still with me? There's a group of people here with yellow shirts on. If you have a yellow shirt on that says Office of Youth Programs, raise your hands, raise your hands. This is the group of people that make sure we don't miss a pay period in SYEP. Because we know for 14,000 young people to be placed in over 700 sites across the district, to not miss a pay period, to do multiple site visits across the summer, to work with parents, teachers, community leaders, businesses. It is no small feat. And so thank you, Office of Youth Programs team led by Associate Director Thenie Freeman. Now, some of you may know this, hopefully you do, but on July 1st, the minimum wage increased. The minimum wage increased to $16.10, but what you may not know, you can clap for that too. Mayor, you know we've been on the fight for 15, and so what you all may not know, wages increased for our MBSYEP participants as well. Clap for that. So I think many of you all have also heard, but the mayor has pushed us to do more, to serve our residents more efficiently, to think bigger, to help more people. And Mayor, I want to thank you for pushing us and really supporting the investment of increasing wages, not just for the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program, but for all of our Department of Employment Services programs across DOES. So now all wages have been increased in all of our programs at DOES. It's a $21 million investment. It's cash that goes directly into our DC residents and participants' hands. Thank you, Mayor, so much for pushing us. So we've been quite busy at the Department of Employment Services. There are lots of important programs that are launching this summer. We've talked about some of them already here today. But there are a couple of things that I need to remind you of and ask you to help with. One, we still have lots of opportunities for district residents to receive job training. So in addition to career coaching, you can sign up for a career coach and you can sign up for a job training program. We want to make sure that every single district resident from the ages of 14 on up has an opportunity to advance and improve their lives through workforce development training programs. There are lots of opportunities today. Many have strong financial investments that the mayor has made going into FY23. Please visit us at does.dc.gov as we continue to post and update all of our training opportunities as well. And to all of the young people in this building, please understand the tremendous opportunity for exposure that you have in front of you. Your summer youth employment job, for many of you, will be your first introductory work experience to the world of work. It won't be your last, but it will be a jumping board. And I encourage you all to use this opportunity. Seek coaches, seek mentors, ask questions, start planning for your SYEP application for next year, and start thinking about what you'd like to do in your life and how you can contribute to this world. Thank you so much. We're so excited to be in our 42nd year. Thank you again, Mayor.
So you heard a lot about what we've been working on. You heard about new devices for seniors. You heard about SYEP. And you heard about how we've been able to increase wages, which is no small matter, to make sure that our programs are competitive with the private sector, because we want the best of the best to come and work in DC government with us. So with that, I'll answer a few questions from our press corps. Yes.
Hi, Chris Williams, editor-in-chief for Southwest Voice, DC's only neighborhood-based social and racial justice newspaper. Has the Bowser administration explored requiring development projects across the city to create internships and apprenticeships? These developments involve architecture, engineering, environmental conservation, and business development.
Yes, we have a lot of requirements for people doing business in the district, not just developers, but contractors as well, and we're happy to share all of those requirements with you. Yes.
Mayor, thanks for taking the question.
Yeah.
Off topic, but it involves the mayor's office. There's a measure moving through Congress this week, sponsored by Congresswoman Norton Holmes, that would give the mayor's office control of the National Guard during it, just period. Your reaction to this?
Well, this is not new. We have certainly discussed this, and we've discussed it very urgently since the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Many people hear DC National Guard, and they think it's DC National Guard, like one of the agencies you just heard from, when in fact the DC National Guard is actually the guard of the President of the United States. So when we need the support of the Guard, like governors across the country who could just call on their state's Guard, we have to request it from the Department of the Army. And that Guard is accountable, as I mentioned, to the President of the United States. So we wholeheartedly support the Congresswoman's bill.
May I have a follow-up on that
Sure.
question? If the mayor's office does assume control of the National Guard, how do you think that's going to increase response times for when the Guard is needed, not just for insurrections?
It would eliminate the need for the chief executive of the district, the mayor of the District of Columbia, speaking on behalf of the district, not the mayor's office, but the District of Columbia. It would eliminate our need to wait, to submit a request and wait for a response. Sometimes those responses have come quickly with certain presidents. Certain other presidents took longer to respond to our requests and then put limitations on that request and then made it necessary for us to go back if the mission had to change. So for the safety of the district, our neighborhoods, but also to support the federal Corps, it is the best way to keep DC safe. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, Sam.
So, Mayor, that wasn't my question, but are you saying this wasn't really a problem before in the past, before, let's say, January 6th? It had not been a problem to get approval from the...
Sam, I don't know all of the instances where we requested the Guard in the length of time it took to get an answer. So I don't want to give you an impression that it never took longer than a couple of days, because probably it did. With going through bureaucratic channels, sometimes things can take from a day to a week.
My question is, there's a group that apparently is going to be meeting today, and their argument is that DC has so many problems, or so many groups that are working on this stuff, particularly dealing with violence, but it doesn't seem like they're talking to each other. So they're saying that the mayor's violence interrupters need to be talking to the attorney general's violence interrupters, who need to be talking to various community programs to try to coordinate something to deal with the situation out here. Any reaction to that?
Who's saying that?
There is a group that is meeting this evening
Okay.
on Minnesota Avenue, and that is their, and I understand members of the council are part of it, but that is their thing, is that there are a lot of programs in D.C., but they're not really talking to each other, and they need to be talking to each other to sort of coordinating effort to combat the violence or whatever?
Well, I'm happy to talk to anybody who has a question about how programs are coordinated. Programs are coordinated. I mean, that's my response. If somebody doesn't know how to interact with programs, we're happy to explain it.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Two off topics, please. Mayor, first, Dr. Nesbitt, can you tell us, one, when you will announce an interim, what the search will look like for a replacement? And I'm wondering the timing of her announcement. When did she first tell you? Did you know before the primary election that she was going to step down?
I did.
And why was it not released before the primary?
She hadn't determined when she would be stepping down.
And then what about a search for, one, a naming of an interim once she does leave, and then the search for a permanent replacement?
I expect to announce an interim in the next couple of weeks. And Mark, just like all of any vacancies or recruitments that we have in the government, I thought it was appropriate that the primary be concluded, and I have some look at November, and then we will talk about permanent replacements.
What about other people in your cabinet leaving for whatever reason, now that you're looking at a third term, going up for your third reelection? Do you anticipate, or have you made any moves seeking just resignations to have them in case you decide to make changes, or do you know of any other cabinet members who might be departing?
I don't have any. I don't have any other notice at this point. I do expect, however, I have been blessed with longevity as mayor. I'm looking at a general election in November. Thank you. And I always saw one of the benefits of that longevity is a lot of really terrific people have stuck with us for 8 years. And that is a long time in government. So don't you all get any ideas. That's a long time in government. And I don't know that there's been a DOH director, for example, that has ever served 7.5 years in D.C. government and served during a pandemic. And so we have had, because of in Dr. Nesbitt's case, her longevity, we've been able just to build a fantastic team at DOH. So one thing I know, and I knew it the second time I took the oath of office, is I have an opportunity to look at the entire government. I'm going to ask for community's input around our people, our programs, our services. I'm going to talk to our staff, and at the appropriate time, and I say the appropriate time because I don't want to get ahead of our November election, we will talk more fully about how the community can be engaged in those discussions about a third Bowser administration, if that's what the voters determine in November.
And then a second off-topic question about the paid family leave checks. I know you have the director here. I'm just wondering, this is the second week that these families will go without their support checks. What can you what is your word to them about people who are struggling to pay bills without these checks? And then I get that it's a vendor problem that's impacting far more jurisdictions than just Washington, D.C.
28, I think.
But, why is there not a redundancy? Why is there not something in place that these checks, here we are celebrating Octo and all of our technical, wizardry, but yet the district government 2 weeks into this is unable to send out checks to people.
I think we have an update on that. I'll turn to Unique.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Mark, I think you're aware that we have put out 2 statements on the status of the paid family leave benefit administration system. I am happy to report that we will begin issuing payments this evening, which should hit bank accounts 24 to 48 hours after payments have been initiated. But let me just say this, that first of all, Octo has provided tremendous support in ensuring that we have everything we need to resolve this issue, which is really an issue of the vendor. And like the mayor said, this is far far stretched across the U.S. More than half of all states and the District of Columbia is impacted by this. District residents and paid family leave claimants will be proud to know that the district is amongst the first 2 states that will issue payments, and that's because of the work of the team at the Department of Employment Services in the support of OCTO. So payments will be pushed out this evening. Folks should start seeing them in their bank accounts 24 to 48 hours.
So to clarify, will those checks be for 2 weeks of checks that they've missed, or
That is correct.
So
That's correct.
They should expect one payment for 2 weeks.
So
right?
they'll receive one payment for 2 weeks, but their portal will be updated to indicate what weeks they're paid for and what amount they're paid for.
Thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mayor, yeah, I knew Mark was going to ask about Dr. Nesbitt, but you didn't get the question I wanted to ask. Your assessment of Dr. Nesbitt in the years that she has been with you. She's leaving. What do you have to say about her?
She's outstanding. I mean, and I think DC residents know that. They had the opportunity to witness her brilliance. I'll tell you a couple of stories. My transition office was in 441, where we did a lot of our interviews. And I had 2 people that I interviewed with Brenda Donald as part of the HHS cluster. And 2, before they got out of the building, we wanted to make an offer to. And one of them was Dr. Nesbitt. The other one was Clinton Lacey. And we were able to recruit both of them to the district. I really wanted a person who would be a public face of health. And my experience with health directors, we've had some fantastic health directors in the district, but my experience was that they leaned into being managers of the government agency and programs, but not public-facing health leaders. And I really wanted to have a person that when you saw her, you would know that she was the district's doctor. And that's what Dr. Nesbitt did. What you didn't see was that she's also kind of a public administration nerd. And she loved budgeting, she loves org charts, and she loves putting people in places where they can succeed and make DC residents healthier. So I've just enjoyed working with her. I'm glad that we were able to keep her in public service and in public health as long as we were. And I just wish her all the best. Yeah.
So this is rather random, and I'm asking on behalf of one of our Texas
Okay.
affiliates, and this will date back to when
Texas
you were
affiliates?
Yeah, when you were a council member and you had oversight of Board of Elections. Clifford Tatum, will you recall Mr. Tatum?
Tell me more.
He was head of
Okay.
board. He was head
Yeah.
of Board of Elections, and there were issues in the 2012 election with long lines and waiting. There were some special election snafus. I mean, you're clearly having to recall, so I don't know that we'll get much out of it. I'm just wondering if you were very critical of him when you were chair of the Oversight Committee of Board of Elections during his tenure. And I'm just wondering if you think this jurisdiction in Texas made a right decision in making him head of their Board of Elections, if he's somebody that you would recommend.
You're stretching my memory back that far, and that wasn't my election cycle, I don't think, so I don't remember it that well, 2012. But I will say this: there's a small pool of people who do elections. And so I know that any time that we have recruited in the district, we're the best city in the world, so a lot of people want to work here. But I know that there is a small pool of elections officials, and I hope that anybody who's worked here has gained a lot of experience. And nobody called us, I don't think, to ask for a recommendation, but I've got to think in 10 years that Mr. Tatum has kept up to date with how elections operate. Okay, last question.
Good morning. I'm with the Black Meta Agency. I'm a mentee of Antoine Ford and his tech firm of 12 years. And we're here to kind of bring a pipeline of BIPOC talent to the metaverse using technology and STEM. And I'm curious as to what your administration, your team, are looking at, ways to looking at how to incorporate blockchain and new technologies into your curriculum. How and who can I talk to about supporting that?
Well, you're ahead of us a little bit if you're talking about DC Public Schools, and I would encourage you to talk to Chief Technology Officer Parker.
This weekend, and we had a great time connecting with the college students there, so we want to connect college students with the school district here to kind of make that pipeline.
I got it. Thank you. All right. Yes, last question. Last question.
The library here has a wonderful adult literacy division, and I wonder if there is a component of this broad program that you're talking about here today for adult literacy, both for teens who have the same needs and even elders who haven't learned to read well.
All right, that's a great question. I don't think that's what we're talking about today, but I will encourage all of the directors present to make sure we're connecting with the resources of the library. And I should mention, and thank you for mentioning it, that we're in our beautiful central library, the Martin Luther King Memorial Library, and I want to thank our DCPL staff. Let's give them a big round of applause. They have been amazing frontline workers during the pandemic, getting open and serving DC residents, and we really appreciate it. So if you haven't had the opportunity to visit your central library, take a moment to walk through. It's really a breathtaking facility. And the last thing I also want to say is sometimes my team surprises me, and I was surprised with our gamers, our video game team at Eastern. And I just want to lean into Director Parker's remarks a little bit. Because we know that our young people they're interested in different things than we are, and we have to understand what's capturing their attention and how we can amplify it for the rest of their lives. And I was just reading an article, not even yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, about how if our kids are going to be in front of screens, let them be video gaming, because it's teaching them so many other different skills. So I'm pleased that we have an organized effort, we have coaching, and we have this experience for these young people. But it should challenge us to think about all our young people out there when we're saying we're not quite sure which direction we're going. Maybe find out what they like, how we can lean into it, and amplify. Thank you, and thank you, and let's amplify it for their future skills. Thank you, everybody.